Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports and another Peacemaker edition of My Mom's Basement. We will be recapping Season 2, Episode 2 this week. I am fresh off a plane from Chicago. Clem, you're in the Cape, I think, right now.
Yep.
How we doing?
It's a little vacation bow summer bonanza weekend, we'll call it. How does that sound? Bonanza sounds like a good word.
I love a bonanza. Yeah. Shout out to Chef Donnie and Hank came to Oasis with me last night. Absolute blast. They showed up. I tweeted the picture looking like they were like straight off the set of a Guy Ritchie movie, which cracked me up. Both of them in the bucket hats and the friggin' like jumpers and everything. Mintz was in the crowd. Rads was in the crowd. I said one of the most absurd random collection of Barstool employees ever.
That, you know what I would call that? That's the mad lads of Barstool right there. You put all those guys. I don't know if Hank fits into that. I know Chef Donnie does, just based on like the knife videos I've seen of him. I know RA does. I've spent some time and he's sung some sonnets and stories about his life. And who was the other one? Mintz.
Ben Mintz. Yeah,
the maddest of all the lads.
I'm literally like straight from the airport. Didn't get a lot of sleep, got like 2 hours of sleep. So if I call like Chris Smith, John Smith today, give me some excuses there. I'm laying down the excuses now. We've got some news to talk about, and then we'll get into Peacemaker episode 2, which I said to Clem, I watched on my laptop waiting to board my flight this morning. My flight boarded at 6:25 a.m. So I was really afraid that at like 5:45, I was going to have some girl be like, "Mommy, what's on his computer?" And it's going to be the worst Peacemaker scene of all time. There was some nudity in this episode. I kind of screened my screen. I made it seem like I was taking a test. I put the folders up and I said, no copying.
I learned very quickly because I think the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones I had to watch on the train because I was catching up to season 3. And I learned quickly that's not a train show. There's certain things that are not commuting shows, and that was not one. And we're learning quick. This season of Peacemaker may not be one. Our boy Heavy Spoiler said he got episode 3, and he said, I don't know what he said. It was like the crazy. I don't think people are ready for that scene. I'm like, what could that mean, dude? After the first episode of season 2. So I'm like, that we're going to just say that's a no-fly list. That's the old no-fly list. We're putting it on.
It was my one and done. I was like, all right, I want to watch this. I want to be able to land, do the podcast immediately. But I was watching it like anxious the entire time. It gave me anxiety.
So I am in Cape Cod, like you said, and we invited the in-laws. So I have the in-laws here and then my 2 kids. Everyone was asleep by like 9 o'clock, except for me. Shout out to me for being the night owl by staying up to 9 o'clock both nights, by the way. And I'm like, I don't know who I want to come down those stairs less right now as I'm watching this. And like you said, you don't know what's going to come. Obviously, there was a couple little parts, but everything was fine. No one came down. So I watched it in as much peace as you could watch Peacemaker. And these days, I'll tell you, though, same with episode 3. If I was near anybody, I'm not letting anybody, like, I'm going to be in like I'm going to go to Superman's solitary. What is it called? The
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude. That's where I'm. Me and the robots.
Come on, you're the
Superman
watching. Guy. You need to know that.
I know.
What's that Batman lair called? What's the Batman lair?
in my world, he's in Nebraska. He calls it, Fortress of Solitude confinement. It's all over.
Your version of Superman is like the alternate version of Peacemaker. You just found a different door. Everything's a little off.
This isn't canon to you guys, really?
In talking about watching shows around the in-laws, I had my future mother-in-law staying with us probably a year ago, more than a year ago at this point, 1.5 years ago maybe, and we were making our way through The Sopranos. We were like, is this a show that we can watch in front of her? We were like, she watches rated R shit all the time. It's completely fine. We didn't realize, because it was our first time watching The Sopranos, that Employee of the Month would not be the best episode to watch with your future mother-in-law. It is in the series. I'm not going to spoil anything because I want people to go and watch The Sopranos, even though it's 25 years old. It's the most brutal episode of the series, maybe. Like, in terms of like, oh my God, I don't even want to look at the screen right now.
Luckily, my wife just watched it for the first time, and I realized this is like my 3rd or 4th time rewatching. And I knew, and at that point, I think our daughter was coming in the room, and I said, "We're gonna just pause this until she goes to bed right now." So, for people at home, keep that one. That's another no-fly list. We'll just leave it at that.
No
right?
fly list. Absolute no fly list. If you do want to fly though, and if you want to go to an Oasis concert like I did, fly to Chicago for it, you can go on Game Time right now and get amazing tickets. Oasis has 2 more shows in the States on Sunday and Monday. They're playing MetLife Stadium. If you pull it up right now, you can get into the arena for, I have it on Game Time right here, Sunday, 8:31, MetLife, $329 gets you in the building. Monday, $247. I know it seems like a lot, but I promise you, it is worth it for the brothers. The brothers reunited. It's the greatest rock and roll show out there. And it's not only for concerts. You could go to Broadway, comedy shows, baseball. Obviously, there's nothing like getting out for a crisp fall night at the ballpark. But trying to get there is brutal. If you get stuck in a queue, prices jump at checkout, you're logged out mid-click, all of that, it's annoying. All you want is to be in the stands, beer in hand, yelling with the crowd, and the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. If I pull up, Mets are playing tonight, right? Mets have a home game?
Yep, we got the Marlins for the next 3 nights.
$82 gets you an amazing, amazing seat right on the baseline, but $12 gets you into the building. How about that? Game Time is the absolute best. I could pull up Nate Bargatze at Madison Square Garden. I'll actually be at that one. $46 gets you in the building. Less than $50 to go see one of the funniest guys alive. Game Time is the absolute best. I'll be using them for Oasis on Monday for sure. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MMB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MMB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. How about that? A little new catchphrase for Game Time. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
I was going to say that was fire right there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, Game Time. All right, let's get into some news before we get into Peacemaker. The first of which is we got our first look at Star Wars Starfighter, the Ryan Gosling-led Star Wars movie that they announced at Star Wars Celebration Japan this year. Just a black and white photo of him and a young boy who I believe is going to be his nephew in the movie, based on what everyone's saying, that he has to guide to safety, I believe. I believe Mia Goth and maybe Matt Smith are going to be trying to abduct this child with special abilities. Ryan Gosling might be trying to get him to raise Jedi Temple. That's a lot of people's theories right now. I think it looks great. We got a bunch of new casting announcements where Aaron Pierre from Rebel Ridge, we love him. He's in it.
Mhm.
Amy Adams is now in it. Amazing casting right there. And Simon Bird from The In-Betweeners. I don't know if you've ever seen The In-Betweeners. It's a ridiculous British show, and he's a ridiculous person in it. So I can pretty much guarantee he's just going to be voicing a droid because there's no way he's playing a serious role in Star Wars. My only concern is the guiding a child to safety storyline feels like it's been done to death in Star Wars. It's the basis of at least 3-4 Clone Wars episodes a season. It feels like it's the entire basis of The Mandalorian. It was the basis of Obi-Wan. You know, even outside of Star Wars, The Last of Us is that storyline as well. It feels
Bad Batch,
very familiar. Right? Bad Batch, exactly. Like, so that is the one hang up I have. But I will say the cast is so good. The crew, even, we just found out that the cinematographer is going to be the guy that did Top Gun Maverick and F1. So people are really stoked about that. And as I've said in the past, Ryan Gosling doesn't really choose bad projects. Like, if you look at his resume, it's very rare that he's in a bad movie. So I do have faith because of that. But the picture they put out looks gritty, looks cool. I like the kind of like weird land speeder type ship it looks like they're sitting on. Keeping an open mind, of course. I mean, you know me.
Open mind, glass half full, and that glass tastes like delicious nectar of the gods. That's Bob's view of every single. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's bigger than Star Wars. I think we might have brought you down into the dirt a little bit the last few years, but Star Wars, I still think, kind of has that glass half full in your eyes. I'll be honest, didn't know any of this stuff going in. Wanted to find out live. When you said bring a child to safety, out of all those projects, the first one I have to admit I thought of was little Leia and Obi-Wan bringing her around. I'm just like,
trench coat.
I honestly, oh no, I forgot.
The trench coat was bad. You can't defend that.
there was something where they were talking about like Obi-Wan season 2, and then someone started like just like honest, not being negative or positive, just listing out the stuff that happened. And I'm like, oh my God, I blocked so much of this out of my memory. But you know what? Positive, glass half full. The cast is good. Like if this cast was happening for another franchise, we'd be very excited about it. So
Oh, yeah. Really good cast.
I think Star Wars is in a good enough place. They're still getting the Andor shine, right? The Andor shine wiped away the Acolyte like smudge, I guess you could call it. Like I don't know.
Also,
What the
that's a
opposite of
great
shine
point.
is.
The Andor shine, every day I log onto Twitter and a new person involved in Andor did an interview with some outlet where it's like there's quotes being pulled. I feel like every day there's new like Andor information, and maybe that's like a covert operation by Disney to be like, keep Andor in the fucking news. People liked that one. Pedro Pascal just posted, like, I know I'm late to this, but is this the best political spy thriller ever?
That.
And everyone's like, yeah, it is, dude.
I could see Mickey Mouse. Now listen, I better be going on my Google News, and there better be an Andor story every mother effing day for this very week going forward. Or is it?
Tony Gilroy, or actually I think it was Dan Gilroy's brother, who was like a writer on the show, said if they were going to go with the original plan of like 5 seasons and every season was going to be a year leading up to Rogue One, he was like, at that point, we would have had to involve the Emperor. He's like, you can't do 5 episodes of a show just talking about him. And that I was like, oh, why didn't we get 5 seasons? I want 5 seasons. Imagine fucking Dan and Tony Gilroy writing for Ian McDiarmid as Emperor Palpatine. Like, holy fuck. That would have been awesome.
That would have been, but it's like sometimes you don't want to see behind the curtain. You don't want to see
True.
Oz. Like I kind of like him just being this big old mystery.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It would have been awesome. I'll admit all that kind of stuff, but I'm just trying to like spin zone it, and it's done. It did its job. It got everyone back on the same. Because like you think it's so funny. Everyone has like, I feel like good vibes with Star Wars, and other than Andor, there's really no reason for that right now, right?
No
like,
reason.
I'm not forgetting a prospect, right?
What was like Skeleton Crew was a good like that was a good, it felt like we were like on the way
we were fans of it from the jump.
Yes, but definitely.
Like it's not these kind of feelings. And
it's not Andor.
Maybe it's like Andor plus like the Battlefront Renaissance, and then the Dana Beers, I guess, live tweeting. Like I'm trying to think of other reasons why I just feel like I've been in
White Sox Dave is watching him now too. White Sox Dave told me we didn't talk about it because we were doing the bracket, so it was like we had to get on with the recording. But he was like, "Oh, by the way, I just watched Empire Strikes Back, and we have a lot to talk about." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's bad. I assume it's good. Who can watch that movie and not be like, all right, that was some fucking awesome shit going down right there." Yeah. But that is Star Wars Starfighter. Hopefully we get more information as I guess filming continues. I don't know if the official synopsis is not yet out, I don't think. So everything that I said there, take with a grain of salt, because I think that's just what rumors, scoopers, everyone's assuming is the storyline. So it might be the kid might be like a evil bastard. I don't know.
What if the kid's the Emperor?
Oh, somehow the Emperor has returned. And it takes place, I think we do know it takes place like shortly after the sequel trilogy. They said it'll take place post episode 9. And that's another thing that makes me intrigued and makes me kind of like ears perk up, where I'm like, okay, now you kind of have a clean slate. Not a clean slate, but you can kind of decide where you want the Star Wars universe to exist. You could decide, all right, it's in turmoil after the war fallout, or we're thriving right now. Like, I'm excited to see what they decide as far as that goes.
And they're also not making that timeline like can't touch it. That needs to be all fresh paint for the next, trilogy or whatever they're going to do there. So
yeah,
let's not make anything. I mean, they didn't touch the post Jedi, or I guess if they did, they wiped all that canon clean when Disney got them. But it felt like, everything's new, and we got all excited. And then it was a lot of people were like, I don't even say let down, but it was all right. And that's all it was by the end of the third part of the.
I feel like the shot in the first trailer for The Mandalorian season 1. Remember the shot of the spikes with the stormtrooper heads on it?
Yeah, dope.
I feel like that shot made everyone be like, oh my God, we're going to see what the fucking galaxy's like when the Empire's dead. And then very quickly in The Mandalorian, and I'm not complaining about this, but very quickly we found out like, oh no, there's still stormtroopers all over the fucking place. Like the war is over, but the stormtroopers are still fighting.
And like episode 7, right? Force Awakens, you're like, oh, it's just the Empire with a different name now. And they
Yes.
have a death planet instead of a
It's
star.
here's the First Order and the Empire and the Death Star. I mean, Starkiller Base.
I'm telling you, Bob, one day we're going to get to the point, and I know this to the artists listening, turn off the headphones, take them off, fast forward 5 minutes or so. Someone's going to do Game of Thrones, the last couple seasons, and someone's going to do the prequels and the sequels with AI, and it's going to be awesome. They're going to
That is
nail
probably
whatever
gonna
we
happen.
wanted. And I'm going to be there watching with my popcorn. I'll give money to artists who do the right stuff, but I know AI is the big bad guy here. But I have to say, if no humans are going to fix these things, I think we need the computers to do it.
It's also like, artists can use AI as a tool. So maybe it could be
There we go.
artists are using AI, and then it's not a complete, we're taking jobs away from them. I was just listening to Son of a Boy Dad on the plane, and they were talking about how the Google AI is still like shit. If you look up right now, like Oasis tour dates, it'll be like, no, Oasis is not currently on tour. It's like, what are you talking about? It's the worst AI in the world. I'm very much curious and wondering, how long is it going to take for AI to be zoned in? Because some of the videos are crazy. Some of the AI pictures, videos, you're like, how the hell is that AI? Is it going to be like a year from now? Is it going to be 10 times better? Is it going to take 5 years? Is it going to take 10 years? I don't know. I think it's going to be a shorter time than we think.
Everyone tells me, like smart people whenever I hear someone talking AI, they're like, oh no, it's like so much faster than you can imagine. It's to be so much more like a part of life. And I'm like, how? But
Yeah.
it's one of those things
Also,
that's just going to
I've heard
happen.
that it's like hurting communities. If you look up things on Grok, like some communities affected by it, they're like, stop looking up things on Grok. It's using too much internet power. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how that works either, but messes with my brain. I just can't wrap my mind around that.
I was told like every chat GPT thing you ask is like boiling 8 gallons of water. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't sound good. I don't
What do you
need that
mean?
I don't need that for this nonsensical stuff I ask
Like, so if
for.
I go to Chat GPT and I type in make Glenny balls a Jedi, is there like a kid that's going without dinner that night? Like, what?
Well, Rob, sorry to all the kids out in Africa or wherever they may not be having dinner tonight. But as you go to the next thing, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, make Glenny balls a
Is he gonna
Jedi.
know who Glenny is, you think?
Well,
Probably
I'm
will.
hoping. You figure they have to. They figure they has to like look up a way of asking who Glenny Balls is. Right? Goes through like the internet.
Yeah,
Sees a
you would
picture
hope.
of Glenny Balls. If it asks,
Watches a
I'll
Theo
upload a
Von
picture of
pod.
him.
Yeah. We did the bracket this week of people you would want to swap lives with, and Glenny Balls was a 1 seed. And let
1-1,
me
yeah.
just say, he went against some killers in this bracket. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but go listen to the bracket this week. It's very funny. We had KB on. It was White Sox Dave. It was me. It was Goochman. It was Ken Jack. It was a very fun bracket episode this week.
Would you say Glenny Balls is a Jedi? Does he wear the traditional robe with no shirt underneath? Because that's like a Glenny move.
The chest hair.
Or yes, or does he wear like a Hawaiian theme? Does he get approved by the Jedi Council to be able to wear like the Hawaiian shirt themed robe,
Yeah.
where it's instead of brown, it's color like flowers and Hawaiian shirt?
Now I need AI for him showing up in Balls Beachwear and the council being like, we allow you on the council, but we will not grant you the rank of master just for Glenn. The fuck? What the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Say that. Glenny using the force would be the most casual thing too. Like he doesn't like throw the hand out. He's just like, like the way remember he used to carry his laptop just by the screen.
Yeah.
Glenny as a Jedi that should be the next movie. If
That
they
really,
tell me
yeah.
they've approved the Glenny Balls Jedi movie, I'm in. You have me. You can tell me it's directed by Rian Johnson. It follows the Last Jedi story. Whatever you say, I am in day one, middle seat, big bucket of popcorn waiting for it to happen. I think I stumped ChatGPT though. It's just loading. It has no clue. I think I broke ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's a
Just a
curveball.
community in Michigan just lost power. This isn't even really news. I just wanted to read this quote to hype everyone up about the Batman Part 2, because it's been years we've been asking for the Batman Part 2. The script is finally done, and the co-writer Mattson Tomlin was asked if the sequel will be better than the first film, and his quote was, "The only worthwhile reason to make a sequel to anything is because there's a story burning to be told that you believe can top what came before." So I read that and I said, that's the fucking right attitude for the co-writer of the Batman to have, to be like, yeah, we ain't doing a sequel unless we think it can be better. So that it's not even news. It's not like we could break that down. I just wanted to hype everyone up and let them know the Batman Part 2 is going to be fucking sick.
Those are the kind of things I like to hear. Stuff like that. Now it's this version. It's going to be the Empire Strikes Back of the series, or it's going to be the best superhero movie ever. Mm-hmm. Aim small, miss small, but make it realistic. That's the exact kind of stuff I want to hear right there. So that makes me very happy, and I'm happy for you as the Batman guy after all the Superman stuff you had to deal with.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Hopefully there's no more delays in the Batman Part 2. I think right now it's scheduled to come out like October 2027 or something like that. Like, again, Robert Pattinson signed up to be year 2 Batman, and by the sequel, he's going to be like Ben Affleck Batman. He's going to be well into his 40s.
Now, I saw Gooch say that he thinks Pattinson Batman should be in the DCU.
He wants it bad.
And I think it kind of sold me. I think he kind of sold me with, like, that's the whole point of Batman, is he's such a antithesis to Superman. And it would be weird. I'm not saying it won't be weird, but why can't it be weird?
So I'm opposed to it, but not super opposed to it. Like, if they wound up going in that direction, I think you can make it work, and I think you can make it cool, and you can keep the Batman universe pretty grounded and just have him be, you know, more fantastical when he's with Superman or something like that. Yes. You know what I mean? And Matt Reeves wasn't completely opposed to it when he was interviewed about it years ago, of like, hey, is there any way that this Batman could loop into the rest of the DCU? He was like, yeah, we could talk about that if it comes time to go down that route. I would still prefer it to be separate. And I would love to have 2 Batman going at once, where we have this grounded, gritty, almost rated R Batman with Sophia Falcone running shit and Colin Farrell's Penguin. And then I would love to have like more of a Brave and the Bold Cape Crusader with the boy Wonder, Robin, by his side. And he's fighting Clayface, and he's fighting Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. And the villains that you would have to change a lot to put in the Pattinson universe, which I never have an issue with. They made the Riddler the Zodiac Killer, and I thought that was great. But every now and then you kind of want to see a guy with a fucking big freeze gun hitting puns, you know, like.
That's true. That's fair. And again, you're the Batman guy. You have all the Lego universes you're about to go into in that game. Yeah. There's a lot of different things you could dive into with Batman. I also have to admit that he made that, like, he has that TikTok video of like how they're basically in the same scene, the same like clip of them, and it does like poetry.
That edit is awesome.
That's a sick edit. I'm like, all right, you sold me just because of that one edit. And I will say, like, I don't want to hear like have a Superman movie and then Batman comes in and 9 Inch Nails starts playing. That would just feel weird. Like, you have to to like merge the 2 brands together here. By the way, the Glenny Balls Grok was able to get me my Glenny Balls picture.
Okay.
What I came up with.
Oh, that's pretty good. And it gave him the Hawaiian Jedi robe like we were talking about. What's going on with that fucking short lightsaber, though?
It's so he does have a short lightsaber, and this is very Glenny. It's like they know Glenny's vibe, right? So for the people that are listening and can't see, he has like the brown robe, but then he has the Hawaiian vest almost.
Yeah.
Like the white part is Hawaiian, which I feel like would have been
brown like collar, which is cool.
I feel like this would have been a compromise the Jedi Knights would have made for Glenny, right? However, with Glenny, and I love Glenny, I love Glenny. Glenny looks like he has a short lightsaber, and it also looks like it's resting on his shoulder. I'm telling you, I say this in the nicest way possible. Glenny would suffer from a lot of self-inflicted lightsaber burns, because I'm sure he would forget how much. I think the lightsaber here is gone through the wall, and it's actually going into the next room. Yeah. And he's also burning his shoulder right now as he takes his picture. So.
Do you remember the video of him trying to light a lighter, and he couldn't do it? He was like flinching and like trying to get away from it every time. Glenny balls. Well, yeah, if he had a lightsaber in his hands, he would probably look right down the barrel and try to light it, like that picture of Luke where he's just about to light it into his skull.
Hashtag of the episode's hashtag Jedi balls. I would think that
hashtag Jedi balls. Yes. We have a special guest about to join the program now. Didn't reveal this beforehand, so all the listeners will be surprised. But a coworker of ours watched Superman this week. Not just Glenny Balls. Glenny Balls actually watched it. He loved it. But another coworker of ours, Kevin Clancy, watched Superman. And this guy hated it.
Superman.
He said it was a bottom 5 superhero movie ever.
That movie sucks, dude.
All right,
I was
Kevin.
Wildly disappointed.
Lay out the main things you had wrong with Superman. The main things that you were like, what the fuck's going on? Your main criticisms.
First and foremost,
is it Francesa's criticisms?
There is some of that. There is some of that.
Okay.
But that's first of all, I was super stoned when I watched it. So I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Maybe I would hate it even more if I was straight. I could not believe. First of all, the surrounding cast of characters is one of the worst of all time. So all those superheroes suck. Absolutely suck.
You didn't like Guy Gardner?
Like Mr. Terrific and those guys. Those guys.
Yeah.
Suck.
You didn't like Mr. Terrific?
Mr. Terrific rocked.
If those guys never appear on my screen again, I'd be a happy man. I hate. What do you want? Like a spinoff with those guys? You want to see more of those guys? Oh my God.
Mr. Terrific spinoff. They're talking about it. They're talking about Mr. Terrific spinoff and a Jimmy Olsen spinoff.
Oh my God. Those are the worst superheroes. The Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, the Green Lantern. Those were terrible characters. They felt like almost intentionally bad to me. I think when I watch superhero movies, I know there's like a little bit of I feel like the word camp is thrown around too often right now, but I know that there's like supposed to be a little bit of corniness, campiness sometimes when it comes to these things. So I get that, but I couldn't believe how corny those guys were and how like little I viewed them as like a superhero. They were just so goofy to me. I want to go back and I'm going to film. I'll record on my phone some of the scenes. There were scenes where I felt like I was watching a sci-fi, like a sci-fi channel movie, not a sci-fi movie.
So you did say the scene with the baby in the river. That was my least favorite part of the movie.
Hated that scene. I did not like that scene.
Part of the movie.
I did not like that scene.
Agreed on that.
Whole thing with the Proton River or whatever it was called looked so bad that I was like, is this supposed to be bad, or are there people at the theater right now like screaming like, wow, this is awesome? Because there were so many moments that were goofy in a way that I don't think was good. Maybe some people like that it was like kind of fun and goofy. I was like, what the fuck are we watching? I don't think every movie needs to be like Christian Bale Batman where it's like dark and serious.
Yeah.
But this was so far in the other direction. And I know people are going to be mad at me. I'll probably get canceled over this. I thought Crypto was terrible. I had
a feeling. I had a feeling you wouldn't like Crypto.
And for the record, I'm a Superman guy. I love Superman. I'm always arguing Superman over Batman. It's undeniable that the Batman movies are better than Superman. But as far as the hero and the comics and the history, all that, I'm a Superman guy. I'm a dog guy. Put those two together. It was nothing but corny to me. And like there were times where I think it was supposed to be serious, and then Crypto was kind of doing like comedic relief. And all of it to me felt like, I don't know. I mean, like, where you guys really like it? Like you put it up there with like
love it.
I said no. We said I think we both. I know I said 7.5 out of 10. It sounds like you were like a 2.5 out of 10.
I would never watch it
higher
again.
than
I would never watch it again. Put it that way. I would never watch it again.
I'll say this too. For the dog thing, I like dogs. I've never had a dog. I also realize like I work in a company and I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are like over the top dog people, but like there are some things with dogs where it's like if I'm like there's a little too much dog for me, I'd be like, you fucking killer, you're the worst. Yeah. Like Feidelberg said, I was like, oh, thank you, John, because I know John's a dog guy too. And I was like, at least if a dog guy says it, I don't come on. Like Eddie said it best. He's like, some people like if you don't like let a dog like if you don't start making out with the dog the minute you met it, you're like just like anti-dog person. It's like, listen, dude, I love dogs. It's just some people are a little much with dogs, and I
All
think
right,
James
all right,
Gunn.
let's not throw
I think-
stones here.
listen, I think
I'm a
James
little
Gunn is.
disconnected from my
I think
dog.
James Gunn is one of those
You're not
guys.
wrong.
I think he's a dog guy, and I think he wanted to make this Cryptos movie, and I think people like Kevin didn't like it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, inherently, when you have a dog wearing a cape, it's gonna just be a little bit goofy, and like him just being a dog that like rips apart. Like, it was weird. It's like he's a super dog, but he's also just like a regular puppy who like tears apart your stuff. Whatever. We're
Yeah,
getting too far
that's
on the
what's so
dog.
great. You're describing what's so great about crypto.
That is fine. Like, yes, you're right. But I think when I'm looking for like an epic Superman movie and moment in that movie, and it's kind of weighed down by like a goofy dog moment, like that felt, it's like when you watch Super Pets or like a cartoon. That's when I think those things are supposed to be there. I thought they could have done this movie could have been like an epic movie if they really leaned into the whole like Superman's parents sent him here to destroy, and
That was cool.
that was cool. There's elements of it that I thought would have been great, like the idea of Superman intervening in political affairs and the world getting upset about that. Very cool. The thing with his parents. There's a lot of meat on that bone to like explore. Yep. What if Superman?
What about Lex? What'd you think of Lex?
Lex, I thought Lex is fine. I thought Lex was a good Lex. That was a good Lex Luthor.
Lex.
Yeah, that was a good Lex Luthor. I think they could have like, to me, the his angle was like super apparent, and like some people were kind of like figuring it out, like why is this happening? It's like very clearly he's got to deal with Barovia or whatever it's called. Like there were elements of the plot that I thought if they made it more of a if they did like a Christian Bale Batman type of movie with those plot points, I think it would have been good. I think, but doing like the goofy version, the kind of fun superhero movie version, which some people I guess need and want and like, that was not it for me. That was not.
Did you like Man of Steel? Were you into Man of Steel?
None of the Superman movies have really hit for me. Which one is that? That's Henry Cavill.
That's the Zack Snyder one. Yeah, General Zod comes down. Very, very serious. This is almost like an overcorrection of that.
Right. That's kind of the problem. I feel like they've gone too far in either direction and haven't found the sweet spot. I think it's hard to make Superman movies. I really do. I think there's something. It's just like he's too powerful, and he's a very like 1950s or whenever he was invented type of character where he's like this stand-up guy. And I also felt the Lois Lane stuff was like a little weird, like when she's like grilling him as a reporter, and they're
I love that scene. I thought you were gonna say her driving the spaceship. I didn't love her driving the spaceship at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So let me get in my Francesa bag, because the whole spaceship thing. There's a scene where they're again. I got to go back and film these individual moments. There's a scene where they're in the spaceship and they're like cheering, and I was dying of cringe. I was like, I can't believe this is like an epic Superman movie in theaters and not some made-for-TV movie bullshit. Those other characters stunk, guys. They stink.
Oh, this guy doesn't like.
Are you including Daily Planet people too?
Oh,
the Daily Planet people rocked. Jimmy was great.
And the girl who was, I mean, we know the girl. We all saw the girl.
Yeah.
The blonde.
Yeah. She's fine. She's fine. I mean more the goofy Green Lantern, the Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific felt like complete and total bootleg, store-bought, store-brand.
I think they were supposed to sort of feel like, obviously, the Green Lantern was.
That's
Mr.
why they're the
Terrific
Justice
smart,
Gang,
so
not the Justice League. They're like they're the B team, but they try to have to act like they're the A team.
These are the superheroes we had before Superman, and then Superman joins the fray, and it's way different.
I get that, but I feel like they were then also like really a part of some of the big moments where I was like, I wanted less of them on my screen, bro. Mr. Terrific was like what's he from? He's definitely in other movies, right?
He was
never been in another movie.
He was
that actor?
X-Men. He was actually an X-Men.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. Twilight.
Maybe I'm just mixing him up with someone else. I just like the way his dry delivery. I like that. Like he was, but the rest of it just like they were either like goofy or incompetent or looked like, again, there's another scene where Hawk Girl's like flying through the air and the camera's kind of on her face, and it just looks like so budget to me. I couldn't believe, I thought we were at least going to be on the same page that you guys didn't like the bootleg gang of superheroes. The fact that you would watch another movie with those.
I didn't love Hawk Girl. I thought when I saw, and I said this too, when I saw them in the previews, I go, I'm gonna hate all these other superheroes. Then Guy Gardner was such like a prick, even though he's a goofy bastard. He has like the self-confidence of Mincy, right? That's like hilarious. Then Mr. Terrific, I think that's basically a 1-for-1 of Rocket Raccoon. I thought he was awesome. He's so funny. He's smart. He's like gadgets I kind of dug, and he kind of just carried himself like Superman's like, we have to keep these people alive. He's like, fuck that. He blows the monster's stomach up and is just like, we're done with this. We're not doing Superman's way. I loved him, but I could understand Hawk Girl, but I could understand where you're coming from. I just think you had to see them from the light we saw them as, but I'm not going to get mad about Superman. I think Fantastic Four was the same thing. I think both of those movies could have been much better. I think they just needed to get them on the chessboard and build the universes. So I think the next Superman and the next Fantastic Four will be better films than these two.
I think the bigger issue right now, like, I think of myself as a good, like, litmus test of I'm not a die hard like you guys, but I am a nerd and I like these things. I just don't even have the, like, I watched Superman when it came into, I bought it at home. I didn't even go to the theaters. I didn't even see Fantastic Four, and I don't feel like I missed much. I feel like we're at a precarious spot, and it's been this way for a little while, I feel like, right? Like a lot of these movies have been on the decline. Part of me feels like we've had our fill for at least a little bit, like take a break or something. I don't know. Avengers Doomsday, I feel like is going to be, I think that has like bomb written all over it, in relative speaking, like, you know, it'd make a lot of money, but like, I don't think you're going to get a $1.5 billion budget box office from that movie. I don't know. I just feel like a little superheroed out, and Superman was the first one. And again, I went into it like wanting to like it. I like Superman, and I was like halfway through, I was fine. And then there was like 1 or 2 scenes back to back that I thought looked like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. And it just, from there, I spiraled and went full-blown hater, where I was just like, fuck this, I hate this, this sucks, this is lame. I went all in on the hate.
That's
well,
fair.
we like having a different dynamic on the pod. We like getting different points of view. So thanks for coming on and arguing it I guess you're basically Lex Luthor.
Has Stu Feiner reached out to you and said he's going to kill you with like your string with your own dick or anything like that?
I remember him texting me being like, best movie experience of all. And you know what he said? Take the kids. Like, maybe if I was watching with my kids and they were hooting and hollering, I would feel differently. But as just like a grown adult high on marijuana watching that movie, I was like, what am I doing?
All right. Hopefully the next one gets you. And hopefully, I feel like you would be a Peacemaker guy, actually.
I love Peacemaker. I love that little cameo. That was great. I love Peacemaker. That to me is, I feel like you either got to be a comedy and like goofy first, and then like Peacemaker is, or you got to go kind of epic superhero. I think Superman was a little bit lost. What is this one called, by the way? I just keep calling it the new Superman. What is it? Man of Steel? Just Superman? Okay.
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah, no, this one stunk. James Gunn, you stink. That was a big thumbs down. Big
we don't sign off on that.
Super thumbs down. Sorry, guys.
All right. Thanks, Kim. Get him out of here. You can't talk shit about James Gunn on this podcast like that. We trust him.
He does Peacemaker too. He does the same thing.
Oh, that was good getting him to join. I wish we could have ambushed him with Stu. You said, imagine we could just ambush him with Stu Feiner. Stu Feiner joined. Before we get into Peacemaker, let's tell everyone about another sponsor, our final read of the episode. That is DraftKings. Clem, it's finally time. The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. Think you know the game? Put your college football knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. From live betting during the game to rivalry week odds boosts and so much more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to stay in the action from kickoff to the final whistle. Very precarious position for me. I'm kind of an Ohio State fan because of Lady Fox. She's grew up an Ohio State fan. You know, I've now watched more Ohio State games than any other college football by a factor of 10, by a factor of 20. Like every Saturday when they're on, we'll throw it on. We'll pay attention. She's not diehard, but she roots for them every week. Now they're banning Barstool. What's going on, Ohio State? Can I mend these bridges? What's going on?
You're a Portnoy guy
DraftKings
too.
mend the bridges? I know. Luckily, DraftKings does have an amazing deal, something special for first timers. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That just keeps going up. I remember it being 150. I remember it being at 200. Now it's at 300. You got to capitalize on that deal. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code BASEMENT. It's code BASEMENT for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. I'm not a huge college football guy, but I do love college football being on. I like the option of Saturday when I'm like, it's a Saturday afternoon. I don't know what to throw on. I like throwing on a game every now and then.
So yeah, I'm not a diehard fan, but it's nice to have on the background. And again, if I like, my family would disown me. Or I guess I would disown my family because I'd just be watching sports all the time during the weekends, during the fall and winter. But it's just nice to have in the background. And then you throw a little quad box on YouTube TV. And honestly, like what I'll do is I'll just bet like one game for the weekend. I'll talk to some buddies. We'll pick a game. I'll just bet a couple bucks on it. So I have something to care about. And it's the perfect way to go about it. So I think of it this way. Scary Terry went to Ohio State. So you could be an Ohio State
true.
from that.
Very true. Very true. Shout out to Terry re-signing with the Commanders. Absolutely loved to see that.
Basement bowl next weekend, bitch. Come bring it, Terry. You fucking bitch. Ohio State bitch.
Who's your quarterback right now? Who's the Giants quarterback?
Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. You wouldn't know anything about that,
That's
though,
right.
would you?
Yeah. Him and Ciara, right? Isn't that his girlfriend? Sierra?
Hey, Robbie,
Ciara?
let's just do this independently of that too. I brought the heat with the basement bowl. Micah Parsons out of the division. God bless.
Oh, that's great. Love that.
Oh.
Immediately texted my cousin's husband Chris. I was like, he's a Cowboys fan. I was like, oh no, not Mika. Oh no, not Micah. Whatever his name is. Oh no.
Jerry was calling him Michael the entire press conference. Like Jerry is lost. He is gone.
Yeah. All right. Peacemaker, season 2, episode 2. Another good episode, another episode that didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best shit ever. More setup, but in a good way. Setup that I was I welcomed all the setup that they did for season 2. A lot of like Rick Flag setup. We met a new character that I think is going to play a big factor in this season. So his real name is Tim Meadows, right?
Oh my God.
I know who he is, obviously. He's been in Barstool. He's been in 1,000 things.
Yeah.
I boarded a flight at 6:25 a.m. I told you, cut me some slack today, Clem.
No, listen, you're 100% right. It's just it reaffirms, like Tim Meadows was, I wouldn't say huge back in the day. He was pretty big though. He was on SNL. That's where he that's really
where I know him from.
Made his name. And I did say though, Tim Meadows, I think, is now somehow the Chili's baby back ribs guy. Because when I see him, I think of the Office scene. I'm gonna have awesome sauce coming out of my nose, and I'm like, which is crazy because again, he was really big in SNL. He played some good characters. He was the Ladies' Man, which I never saw that movie, but I always liked Tim Meadows, just like a good smile, good vibes guy. And his character in this show, I am in love with.
I did not know what to expect. Like you see him. And like you said, kind of like just always a good vibes guy. I remember him being in the Office HQ2 with KFC Radio. I think he did KFC Radio in like a tiny corner room of the business floor too. Really? I have like a vivid memory of this. And when he starts hitting some of the dialogue that he hits, I'm like, oh my God, he's an asshole. He's an absolute asshole. I didn't know what to expect. And it wasn't that.
When I saw him, like, I figured we're just going to get a Tim Meadows. He's like a friendly guy or whatever. Yeah. But then he kind of has like the nickname of the guy Ginger Cool, and he's just keeping it going. I'm like, all right, like, and this is like a vessel for James Gunn to get this kind of humor. And it's like when you have a Chick-fil-A sandwich and you throw some of that Chick-fil-A sauce on top, it's like it's just a match made in heaven. I think James Gunn and Tim Meadows, they are perfect for this character. Yeah. Bird Blindness is just a ridiculous. It's like an SNL. This is like an SNL character in itself. Basically, this guy can't tell the difference between birds. Sounds like a nightmare as a bird guy. I have multiple bird cameras, and I would just be seeing the same bird every single time. I feel absolutely terrible for him. I mean, the housewarming gift scene where they're talking about what housewarming actually means, and then the nicknames, Cupid by Titties.
Titties. Yeah. So funny.
I am sold on Tim. Like, I want to buy Tim Meadows stock. I feel like he's going to somehow have
Yeah.
a second run, and your generation will know him from the guy who really affirmed himself on Peacemaker and became this, next level.
Yeah. And there was like, it was a good balance in this episode of we got very funny stuff with him. And we opened with like very serious stuff with Rick Flag Sr. We saw like his first day at Argus, and Economos is kind of walking him around. He's like, all right, anything else I could get for you? He's like, yeah, the files on my son's death. Economos is like, we were all working under Waller's commands, and it was a tough day. But it was cool how they also like showed a lot of flashbacks, and like James Gunn has kind of teased and said, if something is now shown in Peacemaker season 2, it becomes canon. So like he said, like that day, the Suicide Squad in his mind is like a hazy memory, but once it's shown, that is now confirmed to have happened. And we knew that obviously from the even Creature Commandos, we knew that the Rick Flag Jr. death actually happened. But it was cool to see. It's cool to see from his like point of view as he's reading the files and it's flashing back, and it kind of like reminds you the Peacemaker, what a joke. Like that was such a good final line too. So it was like great. It was cool. It was that, and then it immediately went into like a serious but also funny scene of Peacemaker trying to hide his own body. He's fucking just getting so frustrated. That was like a Family Guy bit. You know the bit where Peter's trying to get the frog with the shoebox and he can't scoop it up? That was like straight up Family Guy.
I said, wow, we're doing bits, and it's one of those never-ending bits. And I said, James Gunn is he's just having fun. He's probably just giggling the entire time he does it. And I appreciated that like they can do that. If you're going to spend 40 minutes with me on a Sunday, or what is it, Thursday night, that is a great way to do it. It just had me smiling the entire time. And you don't get that as much from live action. It's a lot of time it'll be like a cartoon or something like that.
Even the way his eye looked when he's like one eye, like crazy, like he looked ridiculous.
On the Jedi ball scale, how much of a problem do you think Rick Flag's going to be for us this season?
Like a huge problem, like 4.5, like a huge problem. Yes. Huge.
He is anything short of essentially like a Bane Doomsday, he is anything short of a super duper villain.
Yeah, he like 24 surveillance and then surveillance on the surveillance. And he's waiting for one fucking slip up where he could be like, all right, that's an excuse to kill Peacemaker. Like he just wants to fucking, what do you say? Fuck the Peacemaker or whatever.
Fuck the Peacemaker. And I'll tell you right now, he's going to sprinkle in a few current political state jokes in there as well, James Gunn. He's going to use Rick Flag as his vessel to sprinkle in some of his commentary on the current.
There was even the thing where he's like, oh, there's you with the president. And he's like being sworn in or whatever. He's like, oh, yeah. We got a Gotham name drop. That was interesting. When it's Adebayo, she breaks into her ex's apartment. I think she probably just had a key or whatever. And they get into a little back and forth, a little fight there. I felt so bad for her when she hit the I love you and then was just waiting for it back and had to leave. But I thought it was kind of funny where she was like, we were going to go back to Gotham. Like that was like something to be happy about. What played in my head when she said that was The Force Awakens. Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku? Like, why is that the place that you're like, we were going to hit Gotham? Well, it ain't so good. Well, I guess we don't know in the DCU. I would assume it ain't so good. I've never seen Gotham where I'm like, oh, that's a utopia. They're thriving.
It's just a different brand of water colors in this Gotham. It's the same Gotham, though. The smoke in the alleys or whatever it may be. It's not great.
One of the funnier scenes in the episode for me, and it was so ridiculous and random, was Harcourt in the store where the lady comes up to her and she's like, hey, I recognized you. I can give you resources to get some help. And she tells him to fuck off. And then she looks at the guy across. She's like, shut up, Beaker, or whatever. She calls him Beaker. He's like, who's Beaker? And the other lady, he's a Muppet. Do I look like him? Yeah, kinda.
I did the Rick Dalton. I pointed to him and go, oh my God, he is Beaker. Like if Portnoy called someone Beaker at Barstool, it would be like, that's just your name now. You're just like, change your handle on Twitter to at Beaker Barstool, because that dude, it was perfect. He does kind of look like
Did they cast him as Beaker? Was this in the script originally? And they were like, we need a guy that looks like Beaker. Or was it like that guy's on set and James Gunn was like, I got a quick rewrite for you?
Bob. Remember Portnoy with the one guy kept Sideshow Bob. I wonder if he's in the cast as Beaker looking guy from the pharmacy.
That would be great. Yeah, what's his credit? Is it just like pharmacy guy, or is he credited as Beaker? That would be so funny if he was.
I had a real problem with this scene, however. First of all, the scene with Harcourt and the woman, I was like, if they go into like a battered woman like joke here, I think I might be out on Peacemaker altogether. I'm very happy we did not go that way. Thank you, James Gunn, for like just steering it the other way. When we go to when she checks out and she buys the chips from the discount aisle on clearance, Bob, I have to ask James on this question. James, we all know when we go to the pharmacy, we look for the holiday candy that's on sale. We go to the Christmas candy that's a week old, right before New Year's. You go, you know what? Let's get some, or like the Easter candy, get my Cadbury eggs. I can get them for 50% off, 75% off if you get lucky. Was there something in the contract that didn't allow him to use candy and had to use chips? I have to know this question. If I had a choice between like ask James Gunn one question, that's probably what I would use.
That's a true Snack Boys question.
That's a Snack Boy right there.
Snack Boys, my mom's basement crossover question. Then we meet Flurry, Tim Meadows, and I feel like Ginger Cool is just replacing Diebeard. Like last season, he was like, "Why does everyone call me Diebeard?" And now it's Ginger Cool. The bird blindness stuff was so funny when he's like, "What's up with that parrot?" When he says it every time, like that was so fucking funny. Got attacked by a duck. Yeah, like that was so fucking funny. Fucking duck attacked me. It's so good. The bird blindness scene is great. I love when they cut back to Cena. I think he's clearing out the orgy and he's with Vigilante at this point. He called him for the bone saw and he's like, yeah, let's all get together and do a big dance routine. The way he said that was kind of meta. Like, okay, we know that he did a big dance routine for the intro. And I loved this Tim Meadows line when he sees Vigilante. He's like, who is that guy? He's like, oh, that's Adrian Chase, aka Vigilante, whatever. That motherfucker looks like he caught all the Pokemon. That was so fucking funny. He looks like he caught all the Pokemon. And then Economos has to go into the fucking, well, actually, the plural of Pokemon is Pokemon.
Ginger Cool briefly became Nick Terani. Is Nick Terani real life Ginger Cool? Do we call him Ginger Cool for now on?
Honestly, he almost reminds me of Vigilante at times. Some of the jokes Vigilante makes are kind of like Terani-esque. Vigilante also not liking sex is so funny. He's like, yeah, I don't like sex, but like I like being one of the bros.
I like sex with the reasons like most people do, like to get closer with my best friend. He's like,
yeah,
I don't want to like
not the reason most people like sex. So that was really good. And then I loved. Yeah, go ahead.
No. This is jumping ahead, so you keep going.
I was gonna say I love the scene where they all get on the roof together and we see the 11th Street kids reuniting, and he gets a better nickname from Peacemaker, Econa Goat. That cracked me up too. I was like, that's a great, like, yeah, that's what Chris Smith would come up for Economos. Econa Goat.
Exactly. It's gonna hurt so much when they find out Economos is spying on.
I know,
because they're just setting it up.
They start poking you with it in this scene where it's like, I'm just so happy we're all together and we would never betray each other. There's like lines like that, and he's like sipping the beer, like, yeah.
the beer gag, which we already had seen, but the beer gag where he keeps dropping the beers, that played. I'm happy it didn't go on for like 5 beers.
Yeah,
we already had it, the Cena falling out, the dead guy falling out. We didn't need multiple bits like that, but that was good.
And then we have the Flurry's team going into the house and trying to find out what they can find out. They've got that Ghostbusters type scanner where they're seeing the energy come out from the door, the pocket room or whatever it is. And Eagly comes in for the save. Kind of reminded me of Crypto coming in for the save in Superman. James Gunn loves doing this. Eagly ripping out the eyeball. Insane. That was just like, ooh, another scene where I was almost like, all right, make sure there's no kids behind me in my gate at Chicago O'Hare right now. Crazy scene. The fucking duck attacked me line was great. I was worried for a second. I was like, did he just kill Tim Meadows right away? I was like, don't tell me that we're getting one episode of Tim Meadows. I had a feeling he was okay, and I was relieved to see him wake up.
That was probably my biggest fear of the episode. I was like, did we just lose that character? Because that character is brutal. Gold for me right now.
He stole the episode.
And it gets me excited for all the other characters we have yet to meet this season. I'm like, if we already have this guy on the board, I'm very excited about what we do. Eagly had a moment, and I'm happy we had a moment for him early in the season. This could be his high point of the season for all I know. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do feel like sometimes Eagly does get lost in the shuffle, right? And
Yeah.
I could live with it. I do think he'll have his moment. Usually, like around the finale, I feel like we get another Eagly moment. But that was, I mean, that fucking eyeball just up there was a move. As he's calling out their stupid nicknames to like save them, had me just rolling. I was rolling.
He downgrades one guy who doesn't like the nickname to barely legal, right? Doesn't call him barely legal. It's so fucking funny.
And then it becomes Cupie or Cupie something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He double negatived him.
We get that nice convo between Adebayo and Ginger Cool on the roof. There again, it's kind of that tone of like they're asking, "Oh, what's going on with Chris and Harcourt?" And then we cut to Chris and Harcourt, and they're talking. There's a quick tease of Harcourt in costume. Do you think that's going to pay off by the end of the season? Where he's like, "Yeah, you could fight crime like me in costume or whatever." She's like, "I would never do that. That's ridiculous." I was like, "Is that how we're going to like peel back another layer of Harcourt by the end of the season? She'll have some kind of cool suit."
Well, she dressed as something in the dance number 2. I feel like she changes outfits in the dance. So I was like, I noticed. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the other dimension Harcourt or if it's this dimension.
Maybe, yeah.
Because at some point, the dad and the brother come in their suits, and she's then wearing something different. So I'm like, I don't know what Harcourt is in that dimension. So that could be it.
And in that dimension, it's Amelia in his phone, like, right? Or is it the regular one? It's Amelia, and then the other one, it's Harcourt, I think, in the phone or something like that. Yeah, and it's different, and that was a cool way to end the episode where he's like about to drunk text her, and there's no service, and then you realize, okay, he's using the other Peacemaker's phone. You see the case on the back, and he goes back into the dimensional room, goes into the door, and he sends her the hey text. She hits him with the bubbles, then nothing, which is always the worst, and then the heartbreak emoji. And he's like, you could hear his dad talk, "Oh, yeah, we haven't seen him. I hope it's not the pills again." So you hear that going on in the background. A good way to ground the episode again after a lot of comedy and a lot of hijinks in this episode, to be like, oh, yeah, he's depressed as fuck over this. And we're ending on that note.
It's like no matter what, something bad's going to happen where it's like, damn, I wish you just stayed in your world and tried to get that Harcourt. But this one seemed like it was on a tee for him, so I don't hate him going for it. But
and it makes you curious what happened between Harcourt and that world's Chris.
Yeah,
for her to send the hey with the period and then the heartbreak. The period was a big thing in the hey as well. It wasn't hey with 2 Y's. It was a hey with a period at the end.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, we're throwing periods on it, huh? That's a different vibe. Much different said. I have to shout out Charles here. He DM'd me and said, he said, "Do we really think that Keith is a good vibes guy?" He said, "I'm thinking that he's probably just as racist as his dad and may not be a super smart, super great guy. And it may just be like, he succeeded in raising the younger version of Peacemaker." And it's like, ooh, I might have went all in because Roy seemed really nice and happy.
I could see that. I have seen some people suggesting because his dad's costume is blue instead of red in this universe, they're like, is he just the lib version of his dad? Like, is he super liberal to the point where like Peacemaker's even going to be like, what the fuck, guys? Like, what's going on here? I think that would be a really funny route to take it as well.
That would be good too. I'd be in for that 100%. If he was lib, if he's just like a regular dude, no matter what it is, I'm in. And even if it's that would probably hurt me the most. So I said, I'm really excited to have like likable guys like that and just to see how much it changed. Which, by the way, because we talked about Roy and Pam episode, I had no clue. Someone else hit me up, was like, you realize James Gunn was married to Pam in real life.
Yeah. So I didn't bring that. Like, I knew that, but I didn't even like almost make the connection as we were talking about it. Then afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like, he probably just knew him at that time. I think they were married at the beginning of The Office, and I think they're still on very good terms. Like, Jenna Fisher does that Office podcast, and every now and then something will hit my timeline where she's telling a story about when they were married, and she's like, oh yeah, I hit up James to ask if I could tell this story, and we were laughing about it. He barely remembered it. So I like to hear when, like, Will Arnett and Amy Poehler, they're divorced, they're on great terms. It just warms my heart. I'm like, all right, nice.
I don't know if I ever knew that they were married. Like, maybe I didn't even know who James Gunn was at the time. I'm sure I looked up, is Pam Beasley married? Because I'm kind of in love with her right now. At some point.
I think they might have been split up even by the time he got Guardians. Like, I don't
I
think they
think
were even
08
together
is
at
when
that
they
point.
got divorced. So
Yeah.
like he might have been the Scooby-Doo guy or I
Yeah.
don't even know what he was doing back then, but I had no clue. And I always thought she married some artsy guy young and they were just like together. I didn't realize she was with James. I probably thought James Gunn was some artsy guy at that point,
Yeah.
not knowing what he was about to become in my life. So that's a very interesting dynamic where then he brings Roy in and makes the Roy actor likable. I think it's funny.
Yeah. That was Peacemaker season 2, episode 2. And pretty much all we had for My Mom's Basement this week. It was a good episode. We got a little segment with Kevin. I hope he didn't make any of the Superman diehards that listen angry. But listen, we're getting all different perspectives. We're getting all angles, all reviews. You know, for every amazing, glowing Bob Fox review, there's a KFC out there.
I'm telling you right now, people like there's gonna be people who don't listen to the end here, but we'll have already received like either tweets to him or tweets to us. I fucking hate Kevin. That was such a bullshit. Kevin brings out another side of people, man, and and
we did get him to crack a little bit where he was like, I was okay with the first hour, and then I just went full hater, and it's like, all right, fair enough. He went full hater.
And like the thing with Kevin is like he doesn't, exactly. He doesn't like The Wire. He doesn't like The Wire. He doesn't like Sopranos. I love those two things. I can't be on the same content page as him. I just realize this. It is what it is. It's nothing. Not one of us. Actually, no, I'm right. He's wrong. But nonetheless, I'm not going to get mad about it. You guys shouldn't get mad about it either.
And hashtag Jedi balls, of course. You'll have to send me that picture so I can make that part of the thumbnail. I'm going to put Peacemaker in the thumbnail for sure so we get the Peacemaker fans. But we got to put a little Jedi balls in there as well. Him putting that lightsaber right over the shoulder is perfect.
Is perfect, Glenny balls. I was going to try, maybe next episode, I'll make KFC a Sith.
Yeah. Or maybe we can make him Lex. Make him bald.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be when Kevin really turns dark, is when he loses his hair, because he
loses Fleischman. Yeah.
Loses Fleischman.
All right, that was My Mom's Basement. Hashtag Jedi balls. If you're going to be at Oasis this weekend at MetLife, come say hey. A bunch of basement boys came in and said hey in Chicago, which was very cool. Guy came up to me in like a Batman the Animated Series shirt. He was like, I'm a big basement boy. I was like, I could fucking tell based on that shirt, buddy. So yeah, say hey if you see me, and we will talk to you next week for Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 3.
I just went to Grok and said, make KFC Barstool a Sith, thinking maybe it could just pull something up right before the episode, and it made the Glenny Balls picture. It made him a Sith. I don't ever want to see this again.
Oh no!
And he has a small lightsaber.
He looks way less like Glenny as a Sith too. He's like corrupted. That barely looks like him.
This is what Caleb did to him. He took him away from Barstool. It's Sunday Conversation balls right there.
But it's not Sith balls. It's hashtag Jedi balls. And we'll talk to you next week.